Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School, and thought I would go live to kind of give you guys an update on what's happening in the stock market right now. If you're watching the stock market, you might notice that there has been some major moves today, a major meltdown. And what I'm going to do is give you the nature of what's going on in 1 second. As soon as you guys come into the conversation, do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done that yet. That's very important. Please hit that thumbs up button so that we can share intelligent Black conversations all around the world. Also, welcome to those on the Black Financial Channel. The Black Financial Channel is where we do financial stuff, and we talk about money and wealth and investing and all that good stuff. And at any rate, let me see. I gotta change one thing here on this one on my phone. But anyway, so here's what's going on. So basically, there is a major meltdown going on with the stock market right now, and it's pretty crazy, pretty ugly, and the markets are kind of behaving in a very strange way. But it's to be expected given the news that came out this weekend. I don't know if anybody can guess what's going on and what the meltdown is all about. Let me see here. Tell me if you can guess. Okay, I would like to see if anybody knows what's happening before I actually talk about it. Hey, Nate Chap and Space Age 3000 and Heartfire Media and None of Your Business and H-Town Click. What's going on? I said H-Town Clinic last time, didn't I? You're not a clinic, you were a click. Okay, got it. All right, so basically what's happening today is that the stock market has dropped by about 1%, which is a pretty big drop. You know, the drops are to be expected. You know, market crashes happen all the time. You know, if somebody ever asks you if you think the stock market's going to crash, your answer should always be absolutely yes, because the market crashes all the time, and the market's supposed to have what they call market corrections. A correction, you know, might be a crash, but it's okay. You know, there's never been a crash where the economy did not recover, and so the crash that you got to really worry about is if they ever have a crash where there's no recovery. That's like somebody getting sick and never getting better, right? So somebody catching a cold is not a big deal, but if they catch a cold and they never ever get better and they end up, you know, going to hospice, then you got to worry a little bit, right? So that's kind of what the deal is with the stock market. So when your grandma tells you, like, baby, you know the market's gonna crash, and I heard that the market's gonna crash, you just got to tell them, I know, grandma, I understand. Dr. Boyce said the market will crash, but there's never been a point in American history where the market has crashed and not recovered, right? So that's your response to grandma when she tells you that you are crazy for trying to invest in the stock market and that the stock market is the devil. Now, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, please do that. And I want to say welcome to everybody, you know, from the Dr. Boyce TV. Welcome to everybody from the Black Financial Channel. The Black Financial Channel is where we cover financial news. You can go register at the Black Financial Channel at theblackfinancialchannel.com. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. So let me go through and read up on what's happening here in the market, and I'll kind of give you some context to it so you can see what's going on. Let's see here. So what I'm seeing here is that the big mover for today has to do with Donald Trump. Of course, everything's, you know, it's always Donald Trump. But then again, Donald Trump, I'm sure in Donald Trump's mind, everything is always about Donald Trump. Well, in this case, it is about Donald Trump and Donald Trump's debate or not debate, I'd say his contentious negotiations with China, which has sparked what is considered to be a trade war, has made people a little bit nervous. And let me tell you why. The trade war has been going on for a while. The negotiations have been going on for a while. But Trump, you know, recently made some announcements that regarding the tariffs, and the Chinese have reacted, which has caused people to have a fear. Remember that word, fear. A fear that the stock market is going to, or excuse me, a fear that the that the trade war is going to get worse. Why does the word fear matter? Well, because fear is very important in stock prices. Fear and optimism really matter. They link to what is referred to as investor sentiment. Investor sentiment is basically whether or not investors are feeling good or bad about the information that they're hearing. Confidence is very important. Information is very important. And let me sort of break that down for you. So according to CNN Money, it says trade war fears, remember that word fear, have returned to Wall Street, wiping out a chunk of the stock market's recent surge. The Dow plunged 450 points on Monday morning after President Donald Trump surprised investors by threatening to impose higher tariffs on China in a late Sunday tweet. Half an hour into trading, the Dow bounced back from its initial low and was some 320 points lower. Now, one thing that's interesting about this, is that I knew that the market was going to have a big plunge this morning, last night. We knew it, and it wasn't just me. Anybody who understands the financial markets knew yesterday that the market was going to open low because the futures, what they call the futures on the Dow, were already showing that that this new statement by Trump was going to cause a problem with prices. Also, there were markets around the world that you can watch that open up before the Dow, and you can look at how those markets are working, and that links to the fact that all the markets around the world are connected. If there's an economic meltdown in Greece, it will put the U.S. economy on the brink. Right. And that's linked to what my dissertation advisor, Professor Andrew Caroli, I think he's at Cornell now. One thing Professor Caroli used to teach about was this topic called financial contagion. And basically through globalization and the fact that markets around the world are more linked and integrated than ever before, if one market catches a cold, the other markets can get sick too. They're sneezing on the other markets, achoo. And then the virus spreads all throughout the world, and it happens, right? And so usually there's a correlation. If the U.S. economy is surging, then that's going to cause a surge all around the world. If the U.S. economy is sinking, same thing. Anyway, so here's the thing. Nothing actually really truly happened. The only thing that actually happened is I believe that the Chinese either postponed or canceled a trip they were going to make. But really, a lot of this value, billions of dollars in value was just lost today over a tweet, literally a tweet, right? And it may seem crazy. How can a tweet, which is just somebody, a blowhard like Trump, just saying what's on his mind, how can that cause such economic chaos? Well, it's because that's the way the markets work. The markets operate. They operate based on they operate based on probabilities. They operate based on fear. They operate based on speculation. They operate based on what people think might possibly happen. Those are the factors that tend to drive the stock market. So effectively, Trump's tweet, sort of changed the probabilities a little bit. It created more risk, as someone just said in here. So anyway, they said in the article, the sudden escalation of U.S.-China trade tensions deals a major blow to investors' expectations. Again, another operative word in investing, expectations. Expectations are everything. Investors' expectations that Washington and Beijing would reach a trade deal in the near term. Trump's threats raised the risk, those are important words. Fear, risk, and expectations. Those are three really important words that are being used here. Risk of a prolonged fight between the world's two largest economies. Heavy selling knocked the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, which dropped 1.6% and 2.2% at the open. Just like the Dow, they retraced their initial losses and were down 1.1%, 1.3% respectively a half hour into trading. The VIX, a market volatility index, jumped to its highest level since January. Quote, a big underpinning of the rally, a big reason that the stock market was taking off in the first place was, and this is a quote here, a big underpinning of the rally was this consensus that a trade deal with China would eventually get done, said Michael Block, market strategist at Third Seven Advisors. This tweet may be a tactic, but it has unglued and playing what if. So, it has bulls unglued. It is playing what if. Now, I agree. I tend to believe that Trump is he's a hard negotiator. I believe that it was a tactic. I do believe that Trump is, he's just being Trump. You know, he's saying, hey, look, if you don't move, I'm gonna come and get you. I'm gonna beat you up. He's a bully. You know, he's kind of a bully. And the thing is, you know, sometimes a bully is good, sometimes a bully is bad. I will say this: he might be a bully, but when it comes to investing, he's been an absolute bull. You know, if you tell me yes or no, yes or no, yes or no, are you an investor right now in the stock market? Are you an investor in the stock market right now? Yes or no? Tell me how many investors are in the house. If you're not an investor, you should become one. Yes or no? Are you investing at this point? Do you have assets in the stock market right now? Okay, Everett, Trevor, Kevin, good. Clarence, T. Everett. Okay, Nat Chap, good, 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 good. Okay, now it's okay. So Jade, I'm going to challenge you to go and buy your first share of stock this week. Just get in one of those apps, Acorns, Stash, or Robinhood. Just get started. The second question I want to ask you is, in the last 6 months, has your portfolio gone up or down? Have you made money or lost money? Up or down? Up or down? Give me the answer to that. Up or down? John says, yes. Okay, he invests because of you. Good, good. That's my goal. That's literally, I literally have an agenda. Like racist white supremacists have an agenda. Well, I got a black agenda. My black agenda is to get as many people as possible investing, so that we can actually be on the positive side of the wealth equation, not always in the loser's box. Okay, good. Well, so a lot of you have been making money. Okay, some of you. Okay, Idre says down. Here's the thing: if you're investing in a way that's diversified, where your money's spread out, it's very difficult for you to lose money. One of the things you want to avoid is having too much of your money in one place, or or in a small area, like 2 or 3 stocks. You really want to be spread out to at least 22 or 23 different stocks. That might mean buying one stock every week, right? I mean, you can buy shares of stock for $10, $5, right? So one stock a week, one stock a day, one stock a month, 2 stocks a month, whatever it is. But you got to do that. Diversity is very important. Diversity is the key. So so the reason I bring that up is because again, everybody else, I'm not somebody that's really too caught up in the mainstream. I pay attention to what's happening in the mainstream when it comes to black folks, but I only, some of it I'm not caught up in, because a lot of people are caught up into whether or not they think Trump likes black people, right? That's debatable. Some people think he doesn't have an issue with black people. He only dislikes illegal immigrants. Some people think that he just can't stand black people because he doesn't cheer for Colin Kaepernick. I care about none of that. I really don't care if he likes Colin Kaepernick or Steph Curry. I like Colin Kaepernick and Steph Curry, and that should be enough, right? That should be enough, right? What I care about is what's happening with the economy, what's happening with me and my family, what's happening with economic possibilities. And I can tell you without any doubt that the Trump presidency, for whatever reason, has been extraordinarily good for the economy. The Obama presidency was very good for the economy too. So it's not to say Obama was bad when it comes to economics. Now, black unemployment, the numbers, don't really lie. Black unemployment is actually better under Trump than it was under Obama. And, and Obama, the Obama administration didn't even mention black unemployment. They refused to even talk about it. Whereas Trump, he's sinister. He's got his own motives, but at least it's been a subject of conversation, right? So my point, though, at the end of the day, is that, if you ask me why I really could care less who the next president is, one way or the other, it's because I believe that the fate of black people will be determined by what black people do. I also believe that there's something to be said about Trump, and what he does for the stock market. When I look at, politicians and what I think they're going to do for the bottom line for my family wealth, and my family empire, I assume one fundamental truth that I believe is true about most politicians. I believe most politicians are going to do what's best for them. Tell me yes or no. Do you agree with that? Do you agree that politicians are pretty much selfish bastards? They're going to do what's best for themselves. Tell me if you agree. I hope you agree with me. I hope you hear what I'm saying. So here's the thing. I look at a politician the way I look at a drug addict. I don't assume a drug addict is going to put my best interest over the dope. I don't assume the drug addict is going to be able to keep a promise that he's not going to smoke no crack, because I'm sure crack is good. I've never tried it, but I hear it's quite delicious, right? I'm not going to assume a drug addict is going to suddenly become super disciplined and do something different from what they've already been doing. I'm going to assume the drug addict is always going to go for the drugs. I'm assuming the drug addict is going to always show up where the crack house is at. And I'm going to assume that the drug addict will always be loyal to whoever gets him the dope, right? And so with politicians like a Trump, the dope is his money and the dope is the stock market. That's where Trump builds his wealth. Trump has been a major investor for the last 50 years. Trump has tons of money in the stock market. And I'm under the assumption that he will always make sure that the stock market is doing as well as it can do. So my belief was, I don't know anything about this guy. I mean, I don't know which propaganda to believe. Is he racist? Is he not? I don't know. I don't care. I don't care if you're racist. I don't need a racist to be my friend. I don't need you to tell me. I don't need you to tell me that I'm a good person. I already know I'm a good person. So you can say I hate your guts, and I'll say I hate you too. Now let's do some business, right? That's fine, right? What I need to know is, what's in his interest, and what is he going to work on, and what's he going to focus on. And these politicians all care about the stock market. The Obamas care about the market too, because the Obamas are worth probably $80 or $100 million. If they're not at $100 million, they're going to get there soon. So with Trump, he's been good for the economy. I think that with these China negotiations, I'm gonna tell you what I did. I dug deeper into the market, because that's just generally my philosophy. When the market dips, I tend to buy more. Because that's just been a winning strategy for the last 120 years. Does that mean that the trade war is going to end anytime soon? No, it doesn't. Does that mean that things are going to get better? No, it doesn't. Does that mean that I can predict what's going to happen with the market? No, I can't. But what I do know is that the most recent economic information that came out was very good. The most recent economic information was, the jobs report was extraordinary. They expected to create 190,000 jobs in the economy. And again, expectations matter, but the expectations were here, and they went here. They created 230,000 jobs. And the unemployment rate in America is lower than it's been in 50 years. Again, I don't know. I mean, I know that no matter what happens, I think that because we have our political alliances, there are people who refuse to give Obama credit for anything good that he did because they hated Obama, and there are people who will refuse to give Trump credit for anything good he does because they hate Trump. And I don't really care. I give credit where it's due. I give Obama credit for things like Obamacare, things like that. I give Trump credit for what's going on with the economy. And I think right now you have solid economic fundamentals. Corporate America is earning tons of money. It's growing at a solid rate. The Federal Reserve hasn't said anything crazy. The jobs reports have been beautiful. And so to me, that says that this posturing by Trump, this posturing that causes people to have fear and to run away from the market, well, shoot, that's an opportunity. Because if that causes you to dip the price of my favorite stocks by 2 or 3% and make it cheaper for me to buy, or a chance for me to buy some options and cash in on the balance, then I'm going to go ahead and do that, right? So, so my investing is driven by simplicity and a fundamental belief in the long-term stability of the U.S. economy, which, again, that might be a flawed assumption, but that's the assumption that's worked for the last 120 years. So do me a favor, please hit the thumbs up button. Stock Market Bill, Born Majesty, hit the thumbs up button. Everybody, please take 1 second. Please hit that thumbs up button. That's really important. I'm going to count to 3. Everybody hit thumbs up button when I say that, when I count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Everybody hit the thumbs up button. Please do that. Also, I want to let you guys know I'll be in Philadelphia doing a day-long investing seminar. If you want to learn, it's on May 19th. If you want to come out, you can go get your tickets in advance at drboycephiladelphia.com. That's drboycephiladelphia.com. I'm also going to do a 7-week investing masterclass that teaches you lots of little tricks on how to make sure that your families are millionaires by the next generation. It's very easy to do. It's going to be over 7 weeks. And I'm going to show you how to turn your kids into millionaires, how to build a massive family bank that will allow your family to do whatever it wants, to endow itself like a university. We're going to break down all different kinds of things that relate to economic self-defense. So if you'd like to join that masterclass, go to drboyceseminars.com. That's drboyceseminars.com. Last but not least, next week on the 12th, we're going to do a 24-hour 70% off discount on our program for children, which is Black Millionaires of Tomorrow. In case you don't know, in the Black Business School, we have a Black Business School for children that's incredibly effective. Our children, when they get done, they have a financial literacy level that exceeds the average college-educated adult. And I'm talking about 9, 10 years old. And so if you have kids or kids down the street or grandkids and you want to see them do better economically long term or be in a better economic position, then have your children sign up for this program. and have them work on it during the summer. I'll guide you on how I train my kids so you can kind of know how to get it done. The URL, if you want to go take a look at it, it's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. So on the 12th, we're going to do 70% off for 24 hours only. So, keep your eyes open for that discount, and I'll offer it to you guys, and you guys can sign your kids up for, literally like less than it costs to take them to McDonald's. So that's something we can offer, because I believe that the fact that we've got so many people in their 30s and 40s and 50s who are investing for the first time, that's a huge opportunity for the Black community. But it's not nearly as big of an opportunity as if we got a million of our 9-year-olds investing. If we get 1 million of our 9-year-olds investing, then by the time they get to be our age, it'll be old news. They'll already be wealthy. It's not hard. It's really not hard to make your child into a millionaire or close to it, or half a millionaire or something like that. And it makes a big difference in their lives. It gives them a lot of freedom, and they can enjoy life a lot more. So let me keep reading the article. It says a big underpin. Oh, wait. The world market suffered even sharper losses as investors expressed concern about how tariffs and trade uncertainty, again, another word that's interesting, uncertainty links directly to risk. Trade uncertainty will impact China's already slowing economy. So China's economy, it's funny, it's interesting with these negotiations. The U.S. economy is like kaboom right now. I mean, the U.S. economy is really doing well. The Chinese economy, on the other hand, is slowing down a little bit, which is causing them a lot of, political uncertainty as well, because, one of the compromises for people sort of sitting back quietly and allowing this communist government to kind of run things is that the economy is doing well. They're creating jobs. Millions of peasants are coming into the cities and finding a better life. And so when the Chinese economy starts slowing, they get very, very nervous about, what's going to happen with them politically. And if you look at the history, China has a very tumultuous political history. I mean, they had a revolution just 40, 50 years ago. So let me see here. China's Shanghai Composite tumbled 5.6%. Its worst one-day drop since February 2016. So their stock market has dropped more than ours did, according to Refinitiv. The Shenzhen-based CSI 300 index closed 5.8% lower. China's yuan, their currency, dropped 0.8% against the dollar in offshore trading. Shocking escalation even on Trump standards. Chris Kruger, analyst at Cowen Washington Research Group, wrote in a note to clients on Sunday. It's a shocking escalation in the sense that they, they didn't expect him to go on Twitter and just really rant like that and really disrupt the negotiations. It didn't shock me because Trump, call him all kinds of things, but he's not scared to say what's on his mind. He ain't no punk. So Trump, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Trump has a very tough, hawkish style of negotiation, and he's got a true hawk. I forgot the guy's name, but he's right in his ear. The guy, I got to go look up his name again, but he's got one of his advisors who's right next to Trump is really, really, hell-bent on this idea that the Chinese have screwed the United States. And some of you were asking about China going in and buying up Africa, and they are. And so there are a lot of people who are not happy with the way the Chinese negotiate. And basically what he's kind of saying to Trump is, we're not going to let them come buy us up and eat up our economy the way they're eating up the African economy or the way they're eating up the Jamaican economy. So, I don't know what you can have whatever interpretation you want on this, but basically they're saying, yeah, let's stick it to them. Let's go hard in the paint. Let's risk it all. Let's, sure, the economy might blow up, but we might win. It's almost like when Trump was negotiating over the government shutdown. Trump said, I don't care. Let the government shut down. Whatever. I'll take responsibility for it because he's got the political capital to pull that off. And that's kind of his personality. So it's going to be interesting though, because the thing is, it's a delicate situation as well, in the sense that, you don't want to risk a global economic collapse either. I mean, if the economy went straight to hell and the market plummeted 20%, then Trump's popularity would drop. So his political capital that he leans on so heavily will kind of disappear to a point. So it's going to be interesting to see how these negotiations go. I will say, as a person who knows a little bit more about what's going on economically globally than most people do, I will say that I've always felt that the Chinese really did a number on the United States. When you look at trade deficits and the theft of intellectual property and all this other stuff, there's a lot of reasons to have issues with the Chinese. A lot of issues. And also, what was the other area? Oh, the currency. They artificially deflate the value of the currency, which increases their ability to export products into your markets. And the United States, one issue I have with liberal ideology is I don't even know if I'm liberal or conservative. I don't put myself in a box. I just look for what's true and what's right and what's real. And one thing about liberals in America is that they really don't make America strong long term. The idea of having everything wide open where anybody and their mama can just come in and take all your stuff, that's counterintuitive to your survival. When you have open borders and you say anybody can come in, any person, whether they're a good person or a bad person, we're not even going to check. We don't care because we love all of y'all. That's a problem because there are people who don't think that way all around the world. A lot of the countries where we let their people come in whenever they want, they don't let our people come in whenever they want. Like you can't go to China and just say, oh, y'all have open borders, I'm just going to come in illegally and everything's going to be fine. They'll lock your ass up. Your ass will be in jail. And the thing is, there's a reason for that. There's a reason why you protect your borders to some extent, because in fact, it's well known that a lot of drug cartels, they love the fact that the Americans are so trusting and open with the borders, because that is how they bring the drugs in. If you watch a show like Narcos and things like that, the guy talks about how easy it was to bring the dope into the U.S. after NAFTA. After NAFTA happened and the open borders, he's like, oh, it's easy for us to just bring whatever we want in. So you take that open border ideology, and the same thing happens economically. We believe in selling our country to anybody, any Tom, Dick, and Harry that pops up that says, hey, I got money. I want to buy all your media outlets, or I want to buy all this like lakefront property. I want to buy all this stuff from you, and we'll just sell it. And then next thing you know, you wake up and China owns the bulk of your country. And then you're wondering why you don't have any economic power or the same power you used to have. So if you look at Africa and Jamaica and other places, that's what's happening. And a lot of you guys are not happy about that. Tell me if you've heard anything about this, about the Chinese literally going into parts of Africa and buying up every damn thing. Well, it's because they have leaders who will just sell whatever to the highest bidder, right? So if you think that's an issue, then you're gonna have to kind of think carefully within yourself about how you feel, about where the line should be drawn in terms of what you sell and what you don't sell. What you give up and what you don't give up. One of the reasons I'm not a card-carrying liberal is because I don't think card-carrying liberals really understand what it really takes to defend a nation. I just don't think they understand that. They would only get it after it's too late, right? After somebody dropped a nuclear bomb on your country and blew up, killed 1 million people. Then suddenly they might get in line. But for the most part, they kind of think the whole world is kumbaya, and the Chinese are not kumbaya. The Chinese are real clear. You ain't coming in our country and taking our shit. You're not. They look at the United States the exact opposite of the way we look at them. When we try, Facebook went all to countries all around the world. Had damn near the whole earth is on Facebook. Facebook tried to come in China. Chinese said, nope, you're not gentrifying our country with your digital bullshit. We've got our own version of Facebook. Thank you. We'll steal your technology and build our own, and we're going to own our own. We're doing powernomics up in here. Uber went all around the world. Get an Uber anywhere. I went to Europe, got an Uber. Went to South America, could get Ubers down in Colombia, could get Ubers all throughout the United States. I go to China, my Uber app don't work no more because ain't no Uber in China. No, thank you. We got our own Uber. It's called Didi Cha-Ching. Thank you very much. Google everywhere, all over the globe. Go to China. Ain't no Google in China. They're not letting your butt come in China. So part of it also is driven by their understanding that when you're allowing other countries to really have that much influence on your digital infrastructure, that is a risk to your national security. They can then start spying on you. Like how many of y'all tell me how many of y'all think that maybe there is a possibility that Facebook or Google have worked with the feds to spy on the American people? How many of you believe that there's some chance, just some chance, at least a 50-50 chance that Facebook or Google has been used to spy on the American people? How many of you believe that? Right. A lot of you are already, yeah, a lot of you believe it, a lot of you already know it. And so if you know that these, these ubiquitous, tech companies are spying on the American people, then what do you think they're going to do to the Chinese people? Oh, they're going to spy like crazy, because their goal at the end of the day is to represent the interests of the United States. So the Chinese were like, no, you're not coming to our country. Now, here's what's fascinating, right? There's a tech company, I forgot the name of the company, Huawei, I think, that's trying to come into the United States, because they're like, oh, we want to be all throughout the US and help you install your 5G network. 5G Wi-Fi is awesome. It's super fast and zippy, and it lets your cell phone be faster than your home Wi-Fi. But Trump and his administration, they think like the Chinese. They're like, yeah, you don't want Facebook in your country because you think that they might spy on you. Well, we don't want your company coming in and building up our 5G infrastructure because we think you might be spying on us. And I'm gonna just tell you, I don't talk about it much because people get so triggered if you agree with anything that comes out of the Trump administration. But I said, you're damn right. You're damn right. That is not good for America. I totally got it. They went and they locked up, I think they locked up the CEO or whatever, and the company, Huawei, thank you. Huawei, how do you pronounce it? I think I don't know if they're state owned or not, but it was just something that just seemed kind of like, that doesn't make a lot. That wouldn't be very smart. So the point at the end of the day is to say that, I think I would encourage you to, if you're going to look at the politics in a way that affects things that actually matter to you, things that are real. If Donald Trump tells you he doesn't like Colin Kaepernick, that might hurt your feelings, but that's not real. That has nothing to do with what's happening in your household, or whether your kids are reading that day, or what Black history you're teaching your children, or whether or not you start a business, right? But now if he changes the law and makes it harder for Black people to start businesses, or if he says Black people can't invest, or Black people can no longer educate their own kids, then you might have an issue. But all the other stuff is just entertainment. It's just, and the majority of Black folks, we spend our lives in that entertainment. And in academia, we used to refer to that as mental masturbation. Like the excitement of like, oh no, I can't believe he said that. Like you're getting a high off of the drama. Like, tell me yes or no if you understand what I'm saying. Like that drama is fulfilling. Drama is very it makes you feel good. It burns a lot of energy, but nothing actually gets accomplished. So I don't really know if drama is good for you. I think from an investing standpoint, you want to just get the facts, make the right moves, and position yourself so that you and your family can win. So long story short, if you want my interpretation of what's happening with this thing with the market, I think Trump's being the blowhard that he typically is. I think that he just made this statement about I might raise the tariffs to just get China to realize that he's serious, because he does a lot of posturing. I think that he's gonna eventually shift his tone. I think also the Chinese know that they need the United States, and I really believe that the Chinese need us more than we need them. I really think, based on how the leadership thinks and based on the politics of each country, I believe that they need America more than we need them. So I actually think that the tough negotiating stance that's being taken, that's causing the turmoil, is actually going to work to the benefit of the United States, because the deals couldn't have got any worse. I mean, if you look at the trade deficits, and money and capital and wealth was literally flowing. Like they were, what they were doing? The Chinese, in my opinion, they were kind of, to use a crass term here, they were kind of niggerizing the United States. Like, how you ever see like in the hood, how all the Black people are spending all our money with businesses owned by other people, like Arabs and Jews and Latinos own every business in your neighborhood, and the nail salons and all that, and you're just giving money out and the money's just flowing out of your community. The United States is kind of becoming that. The United States is a country where so much of our wealth and power are flowing out of the country. Because we're making these horrible deals, and we're making deals with people that they would never make with us. We're letting them do things to us that they would never let us do to them. Again, the Chinese can come in and out of the US economy pretty seamlessly and easily. We can't come into their economy easily. They have to fight for that. So in an odd way, as much as they might despise the Trump administration, they probably respect that administration more than they respected the Obama kumbaya open borders kind of ideology. Again, I don't know. It's just my honest analysis on this. hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button if you haven't done that. Please hit that thumbs up button. And don't forget, everybody, the All Black National Convention is happening at the end of September in Houston, the weekend of September 27th. So mark that on your calendar. The All Black National Convention is a great chance for you to network with like-minded Black people. It's a great, I'll be there. We'll all get to hang out. There's limited seating because I just want to fill up the venue and keep it small. I don't want thousands of people at a convention because I want there to be intimacy there. But every convention has been great, and this one's going to be the greatest we've ever had. So feel free to go take a look at allblacknationalconvention.com and mark it on your calendar, the weekend of September 27th. Okay, so let's see here. So last but not least, investors are unsure if Trump is trying to apply more pressure to Beijing to get a deal done quickly, or if he intends to carry through on his threat, market analysts said. Either way, the threat increases the risk that the trade deal could come undone. The threat also has negative implications for the outlook of other trade spats, including autos, and the passage of the USMCA deal that is set to replace NAFTA, according to analysts at Goldman Sachs. Quote, his move injects major uncertainty into negotiations, which now face a rising risk of an extended impasse, perhaps even through the U.S. presidential election. Michael Harrison, head of China and Northeast Asia at the Eurasia Group, wrote on a note on Sunday. China signaled on Monday it still plans to attend upcoming trade talks in Washington. The Goldman's, now that's interesting because as of the weekend, they said that they weren't coming. So if I'm not mistaken, so them saying they're coming it makes a difference. The Goldman Sachs analyst said that while Trump's announcement, quote, lowers the odds of a successful conclusion, quote, to the U.S.-China trade negotiations, the firm thinks there's only a 40% chance that tariffs on China will go up on Friday. So they're assessing that there's a 60% chance that Trump is not going to make a move. He's not going to do anything, but they believe there's a 40% chance he's actually going to follow through on his threat. I'm going to agree. I'm going to say there's probably an 80% chance he's not going to do anything. I think that he's talking. I really believe that. We believe, quote, we believe an agreement is slightly more likely to be reached instead, Goldman Sachs wrote in a note to clients on Sunday. Still, that represents quite the shift, given the fact that U.S. stocks had raced higher in recent months, due in part to hopes of a U.S.-China trade deal. The market's rebound was also driven by stronger economic reports and the Federal Reserve slamming the brakes on plans to raise interest rates. Quote, while the Fed's dovish policy pivot has been the biggest driver of the equity rally to date, future equity performance rests largely on optimism about a potential reacceleration in global economic and earnings growth in the second half. Okay, so basically he's saying that the Fed was the big thing that kept everybody worried. They thought they were going to be hawkish and raise interest rates, but instead they became dovish and they didn't raise interest rates, which stabilized the stock market and led to increased growth. So basically they were going to do something that was going to cause the market to go down, and they didn't do it. Now they're sort of talking about what's going to happen with the global economy, particularly with this trade war. A lot of people are concerned about it. And I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting to see how it's going to play out. But I honestly will tell you, I think that Trump was just talking. I really don't believe he's going to follow through. All right, so do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit that thumbs up button, thumbs up on the count of three. Everybody hit the thumbs up button. 1, 2, 3, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Also, since you guys are interested in talking about Black wealth related topics, if you want to get notifications when I do wealth discussions, just text the term, one word, not two words, Black wealth, as one word, not two words. Just type Black wealth in your phone, not two words, just one. And text it to 31996. Text Black wealth to 31996, and you'll get a notification when I go live on the Black Financial Channel. Make sure you also subscribe to theblackfinancialchannel.com, theblackfinancialchannel.com. That's where we do financial news, things like that. And so what I want to do is give you the melanated mogul of the day. This is where we cover Black economic history and Black people that you should know about, but you don't. The same way your ancestors will remember you, because you're going to be the person in your family that's going to elevate the economic discussions in your family and build wealth for long term. They're going to have your picture on the wall. They're going to remember you 100 years from now. A lot of our ancestors were forgotten because we go to school with a bunch of white people who don't teach us about our own. So I want to ask you guys, how many of you have heard of Isaiah T. Montgomery? Isaiah T. Montgomery. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Has anybody heard of a great Black man named Isaiah T. Montgomery? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of no's. All right, so I'm about to educate some Black folks right quick. And we're gonna resurrect an ancestor, Ashe, to this ancestor. We're gonna bring him back to life because he deserves to be remembered. So let me read up on Isaiah T. Montgomery. Isaiah Thornton Montgomery was an African-American leader, best known for founding the all-black town of Mound Bayou, Mississippi, and for his public endorsement of black disenfranchisement. So he was born in 1847. He died in 1924. His industry was entertainment. So way back in the 1800s, he was speaking up on black disenfranchisement. In 1867, when he was 20 years old, led by Benjamin and Isaiah Montgomery, they raised $300,000 in 1867. Holy God, that's crazy. To purchase Hurricane and Briarfield from a now nearly destitute Joseph E. Davis. Under the leadership of Benjamin and Isaiah Montgomery, Davis Bend, as the two plantations were called, made the area one of the region's top cotton producers. Wow. So let me explain this. Here's his actual picture. Let me explain to you. Let's reiterate what I just read to you. This black man in 1867, at the age of 20, raised $300,000 to buy 2 plantations. I want you to meditate on that in a minute. I really need you to kind of process that for a second. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually look up on an inflation calculator what $300,000 was, or what $300,000 then would be today. $300,000 then is $4.8 million in today's dollars. $4.8 million, 20 years old. Now I need you, the reason I need you to meditate on this with me for a minute is because we need to talk about this. I probably should do a whole video on this. This black man at the age of 20, not only did he raise $4.8 million, but he raised $4.8 million at a time where people had probably 1/1000th of the opportunity that you have right now today. He did it in the South now, in the South, where they were killing black people for trying to build wealth. They were murdering black men who even acted like they were trying to build a black Wall Street. Now I need you to ask yourself this question. How many of you feel like if you go and you start a business, Klansmen are going to show up on your doorstep with burning torches and murder you in front of your family? How many of you feel like if you go and you try to raise money, to start a business, somebody might lynch you, hang you from a tree, and cut your testicles off? None of you do. So I need to ask you this serious question. What the fuck are you complaining about? What the hell are you complaining about? This black man, before integration, before we shall overcome and civil rights marches and all that other stuff, he raised the equivalent of $4.8 million at the age of 20 and bought him a business. And for that, he deserves to be, our children should be learning about men like Isaiah Montgomery before they ever learn about a clown like a George Washington or Abraham Lincoln or Benjamin Franklin and all this other stuff. Why doesn't every black child in America know about this black man when he's, you talk about the Nipsey Hussle effect, the Nipsey Hussle mindset. This is the original Nipsey Hussle. This man, $4.8 million at the age of 20 in 1867 in the South? Are you kidding me? And why don't we know about people like this? Why don't we learn about white people before we learn about men like this who made sacrifices that we can't even imagine? So stop complaining, man. Stop acting like it's hard to be black. We ain't got no opportunities. We don't have enough capital. It ain't good. Do you know he probably would have killed to have 1/10 of the opportunity that you have right now. The difference is that he was under no illusions that white people were ever going to come save him. I don't think he was sitting around worried about whether he's going to vote for a Democrat or a Republican. He wasn't sitting around thinking that some white man's going to give him a good job and take good care of him for life. He knew what it was. Bye, babe. Love you. He knew what it was. And he worked with what he had. And as a result, I want to say ashe to this ancestor, because, I mean, I need to put this man on my wall. I'm serious, because this is inspiration. I ain't never going to give up now. If this don't make you feel like you're never going to give up on anything, I don't know what will. You know, if he can do it, then you can do whatever it is, whatever the hell it is you're trying to do, whatever the hell it is you're going through, whatever it is, whatever obstacle you're facing is nothing compared to what that man faced at the age of 20. He ain't had the internet. We got the damn internet. The internet alone is a tremendous resource that gives us amazing opportunities our ancestors never had. So anyway, this flashcard came out of the flashcards for Melanated Moguls. There are lots of Black people that we never learned about in school. And every time I do a conversation on Black wealth, I pull out a Melanated Mogul. If you'd like to get these flashcards for your children, this is a great way for them to learn Black history, feel free to go to melanatedflashcards.com, 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 and you can get flashcards. Also, we have our financial flashcards for children at financialflashcards.com. And what we created to help your kids learn real Black history is we have melanated moguls, melanated monarchs, and melanated minds. So melanated minds are smart Black people that your children should know about. Melanated monarchs are great Black women your children should know about. So here are the cards. Feel free to check them out. Melanatedflashcards.com. And also, you know about our financial workbooks for children, which are at financialworkbooks.com. So we have every grade band covered. The summertime is a great time to get your kids financially literate. Don't just send them to football camp or cheerleading camp or baseball camp or basketball camp. Send them to Black Millionaire Camp. You know, send them to Black Wall Street Camp. That's the camp that's going to matter when they get to be 25, 30 years old and they're trying to provide for their family. So financialworkbooks.com is where the workbooks are. If you want to join my stock market investing class, write this URL down. Just when I do stuff on the Black Financial Channel, just bring a pen because I'm going to give you stuff. You can go to theblackstockmarketprogram.com. That's theblackstockmarketprogram.com, THE. And let's see, Karen says, say the name again. The name of what? I don't know the name. I don't know what you mean. But yeah, so theblackstockmarketprogram.com. That's my stock market class. Also financialworkbooks.com. That's where the workbooks are. And and also just to remind you guys, pretty soon, you don't have to, you should just know my book, Black American Money 3 is coming out pretty soon. I'm going to release it May 19th. And so I'll keep you guys posted on that. And I'm really proud of the cover. It has a little Harriet Tubman $20 bills on it. So I've been working, you know, and that's what I do every day. That's all I do is I sit around and I'm writing things and creating things to help us to find more efficient ways to make financial intelligence and economic strength and economic power standard in our community, to make it just something that everybody knows. And the way you do that is you create media where financial intelligence becomes a consistent conversation in the Black community. And that's how we're going to be the most financially literate group of people in the world by the year 2070. It's going to take a couple of generations for it to sink into your family culture, but I can already tell that by the way people's minds are being shifted by these conversations, I can already tell your grandkids are going to be superheroes, are going to be extraordinary because of what you're doing now. So keep doing it, keep on moving, and I'll be right there with you. So take care, guys. And this is brought to you by the Black Business School. So make sure you go check that out if you want to learn more and want to educate your whole family. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care. Peace.